Hello, everybody. Andrea Twarowski here with Dentalelle Tutoring. Please excuse the mess still. We are moving in 1 week now. I'm so excited. I can't wait to have my own office space again, have it tidied up and clean, because when I'm not organized, I don't feel organized and I just feel very scattered. So I can't wait to have that done. So please excuse the mess behind me. But I wanted to do a video because I've had a lot of new members this past week, more than usual. So obviously these YouTube tutorials are helping. So thank you so much for watching. But with the new members that I have, a lot of them are either in their first semester of school or their second semester. So this video will be good for any dental hygiene student, any dental assisting student, how to get organized when you're in school, okay? And you could pretty much start this anytime. So it doesn't matter if you're in the third semester, your last semester, whatever. It's never too late to get started with being organized, because I have seen it. Those students that are not organized, they don't do as well because they don't really know how to focus on what to study. They tend to misplace assignments and things just aren't as easy to keep track of. And as you know, when you're in school, things are stressful. So to make things less stressful, it does help to be organized. So the first thing that I do suggest you do is to buy either a calendar, like a large one, or a planner. So it kind of depends on you. When I was in school, I had both actually. I bought a large calendar that I could wipe off from the dollar store. And I bought a planner also from the dollar store that I could keep in my knapsack, in my purse, whatever. So what I did was anytime I had a test, an assignment, an exam, whatever, clinic, anytime that I had anything like that, I would put it on my calendar for the month. But I guess first I would put it in my planner, because you first learn about these tests and things when you're in class. So I'd put that all in my planner. And I like different colors. Like, I'm the type of person where, let me show you here. Like, I had different colored pens, Sharpies for everything. So as you can see, I like colors. So what I would do is for each class, that would be a different color. So if I had a test in that, say my oral pathology class, that would be in one color. And then if I had a test in my clinical class, then I would have that in another color. So it depends on you, but what I suggest you do is just write down all of your tests, assignments, projects, exams, all of that in your planner as soon as you have that. And then when you get home, write it down too on your calendar so you are able to see it, because I'm the type too where I need to see everything per month, but also per week to help me focus, if that makes sense. Even now, like, I have a calendar in my kitchen, but I still use my planner, and I typically spend like an hour on Sunday looking through my planner for the week afterwards, and then putting down appointments, tutoring that I have to do, lectures, all of those things. So it does help, because if you don't write those things down, it makes it harder to do the next step. So the next step that I suggest is to study at least 2 weeks before a test or an exam, 2 weeks. And a lot of students tell me, well, I don't have time to study 2 weeks in advance. Well, you should have time. Make the time. That is your priority. The only time you would actually not have the time is if your teacher told you about a test maybe a week before. Then you can't study 2 weeks ahead of time because you didn't know about that test, right? But study 2 weeks before. And this is why I tell you this. Because if you start to study 2 weeks before, you would be studying, say, an hour or two per class. So let's say you have an oral pathology test 2 weeks from now. Take an hour today, an hour or two if you have the 2 hours, and study for that oral pathology test. The next day, so tomorrow, you will be studying the same thing for oral pathology. You will probably say to yourself, I didn't really remember a lot of what I just learned yesterday. That's normal, because you have to constantly study that same thing. Like, when I was in school, I would take my PowerPoint notes and read through the whole PowerPoint for that lesson. I would probably feel that I didn't remember a lot, but that's what I would do. And then the next day I would read through it again, and I'd probably be thinking the same thing, like, oh shoot, I read this yesterday, but I just remember a few things. But by the third day, and then by the fourth day, you will start to remember. That's how our minds work. So that same lecture that took you 2 hours to read over and study the first day and the second day took you only an hour and a half the third day. And then the fourth day, that same lecture only took you 1 hour to read through the whole thing. So that's how you learn. And that's how you're not only memorizing, you're actually learning at the same time. And then by that first week, you're reading through all of your notes and then going, okay, I'm starting to understand this now. So then by the time you reach your second week, you will only have to study maybe a half an hour per topic. That's it. And then you will know all of that information. So that's what I do. And so it does help to be organized, because if you're not, then you don't really know what to study for. And even take it a step further and write down in your planner, study for oral pathology 1 hour today. And then the next day, study for oral pathology an hour. You know, write that stuff down so everything is planned. Because I find as a student, if you don't write things down, you either don't remember what you're supposed to do, or you're studying for 8 hours and then thinking, okay, I didn't really do too much today, so I kind of feel useless. I feel like I should have done more. But if you put that 8 hours of studying in your planner, you can look at your planner and then say, oh, wow, I studied 8 hours today. That is a lot. And then check it off. Because also, as a human, as a student, we need to check things off to feel like we actually accomplished something, if that makes sense. Because you are probably at that point now where you find for 2 or 3 days, you're probably thinking, okay, I have nothing to study for. I have no projects to do. Oh, wow, this is weird. And then for 4 whole days after that, you'll think, oh my God, I have 3 projects, 3 assignments, 3 tests that I have to study for today. I wish I kind of knew about that the week before so I could plan my time. And the thing is, you probably had all of those same projects, those same tests, those same assignments, but you didn't start thinking about them until a week before. And then you're more stressed out, you're more overwhelmed, because now you have to think, study, work on projects, work on assignments, when last week you were thinking, I don't really have a lot to do. Maybe I'll study for an hour because, hey, I have nothing else to do. But you could have actually planned things out so you're not so stressed and so overwhelmed one week and then doing nothing the week after that, because that's the worst feeling ever. At least when I was a student, I hated that. When I felt like I had nothing to do, I thought I must be forgetting something, because I know next week I'm going to be going crazy. So it does help to be organized. That's the best tips that I can give you. So just as a quick recap, write down all of your tests, assignments, projects, clinicals, whatever. Write them down in a planner, but also by a calendar, because that does help. A large one, a small one, whatever you like, and have that at home so you're able to see things per week and per month. It will help you out. So then that way you don't feel too overwhelmed having to do everything the one week, and then the next week you feel like you don't have to do anything. So try that out, and if you need help, let me know. And before any tests or exams, study 2 weeks ahead of time. Trust me on this. I know you might be thinking, that's way too much time, that's crazy. Try it out. You have nothing to lose, but only so much to gain to get better marks, because that's the whole point, is to pass, right? And that's exactly what I do help my students with in the Dentalelle student program, is to get you through your tests, exams, projects, assignments. Like I have lectures on how to stay organized, how to study for certain topics, how to study for certain tests, because some are short answer, some are multiple choice. There's project help too. So if you need help with certain research, if you're confused on even the project and kind of what it's talking about, especially those where English may not be your first language, Things like that can be very stressful because you want to do a good job, but you don't understand the assignment itself because English isn't your first language. And often in school, your instructor just may not have time or take the time to explain things to you. But this is what I do full time, so I am more than happy to help you out. So if you like, have a look inside the Dentalelle student program. You will not be sorry because as a student, you will be less stressed, you will get better marks, and you will pass. And that's the main thing, right? So if you guys need anything, please let me know, and thank you so much for watching.